Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So this in from AMB Crypto, the XRP Ledger sees more than 105 transactions per second. So the decentralized cryptographic ledger and the House of Ripple's native cryptocurrency XRP Ledger Index, number 496243661, contained 370 transactions, and the closing time for the ledger was just 3.5 seconds in the early hours of August 28th. The total fees for the transactions executed was 26.27 XRP. This event was tweeted by a Twitter user called Rabbit Kick Club, who runs an independent Ripple validator node. He tweeted, XRP Ledger number, and then that number I gave you, contained a whopping 370 transactions. Assuming a generous close time of 3.5 seconds, that is more than 105 transactions per second. IIRC, this is the most I've seen since decentralization started. BTC and ETH don't even come close to that throughput. Every day, guys, we move closer and closer and closer to mass adoption. And every day we're seeing improvements in the system. We're seeing the Ripple Ledger perform and deliver. And why this is so important and why it's so great is because remittances are one of the most important economic driving factors in world economies, especially when we're talking about developing countries. So this from XRP Ferguson, that's at TFerg Trades on Twitter, and he posted this article here. Sent it to me, and I wanted to kind of go over some of the points here, and it talks about remittances, the hidden engine of globalization. Guys, we know Ripple is focused on global remittances. We know they have a partnership with MoneyGram, and we know it's only a matter of time before they either A, blow Western Union out of the water, or B, Western Union jumps on board the Ripple train so that they are able to conduct business on a level playing field with MoneyGram. So this article starts off, I'm not going to read the whole thing for you guys. I do link all the articles in the description if you guys want to read further, talking about this lady who works abroad, sends money back to Africa for her family. So Miss Kayakwita is her name, is just one of the estimated 270 million migrants around the world who will send a combined 389 billion back home this year. And this is an estimation from the World Bank. That figure marks a landmark moment. This year, remittances will overtake foreign direct investment as the biggest inflow of foreign capital to developing countries. Remittances were once viewed by many economists as a secondary issue for developing economies behind FDI and equity investments, yet because of their sheer volume and consistent and resilient nature, these flows are now the most important game in town when it comes to financial development, says Dilip Ratha, head of the World Bank's Global Knowledge Partnership on Migration and Development. Guys, this coming from the World Bank. Let me say it again. The most important game in town when it comes to financing development. One of the things my neighbors told me who works in the financial markets is that if you want to make money, you should be eyeing emerging markets. He's talking about the stock world, of course. I tell him about cryptocurrencies. He's like, oh, you mean Bitcoin? I still don't think those guys get it. But nevertheless, in traditional finance, they are all eyeing emerging markets. And what is Dilip Ratha, part of the World Bank, telling us? The most important game in town when it comes to financing development are remittances. And guys, if you look at the chart, I don't know if you're looking at the screen here, remittances have overtaken FDIs, private capital flows, and aid as the largest inflow of capital to emerging economies. You can see this in the graph here. Remittances depicted here in the reddish pink color. FDIs shot up in the early part of the 21st century and then have kind of come back down now, and now remittances are overtaking them over here. We got private capital flows down here and aid even further down the line. So the number of people in the world who live outside the country of their birth has risen from 153 million in 1990 to 270 million last year, according to the World Bank, swelling global remittance payments from a trickle to a flood. As migration has increased, these financial snail trails have become one of the defining trends of the past quarter century of globalization, the private, informal, personal face of global capital flows. And guys, for many in developing countries, this is a lifeline. This isn't even about getting rich. This is just about staying afloat. But for a lot of these families and for a lot of these countries, it affects their economy positively. So if they have money, obviously they are not worried as much as if they didn't have that inflow of remittance payments. So they have family members working abroad, sending money back home. And this in turn helps raise the economy of countries like the Philippines, Indonesia, they mentioned in this particular article. Guys, I'm not going to go through this entire thing. I just wanted to kind of hit that point home, hit some of the more important salient points in this article for you guys. So when developed economies are doing well, this will help emerging economies, okay, and developing countries, because they give an example here of when oil producing went down a few years ago, and some of the migrant workers working abroad on the oil rigs were losing their jobs because we just weren't producing as much oil. That had an effect, a direct effect on those developing countries that rely on those remittance payments. So it's a cause and effect thing, right? The global economy is intertwined. It hasn't been this interconnected ever. And a large part of the reason for that is because of technology. To be fair, they do give some arguments in this article with regards to why remittances can slow down economies or hinder particular economies in certain circumstances. But ultimately, the overwhelming opinion is that they are helping these emerging markets move up. They're allowing people from countries who wouldn't usually spend more money in their local economies, which essentially helps the outlook for the bigger picture. At the end of this article here, they essentially say that just based on the outlook of how our world is moving and where economies are going, where business is going, how technology has helped us catapult us into the 21st century with regards to globalization, they say that more migrant workers are going to be coming to developed countries and remittances won't slow down. Indeed, they will speed up. We'll start to see more remittances over the years to come, which ties into this point here with regards to XRP and the fact that MoneyGram is expected to see a huge adjustment, a huge change in Q4. So this article from the Daily Hodl, XRP will boost MoneyGram's bottom line this year, says former Ripple executive. So Ripple's former chief market strategist, Corey Johnson. Corey, are you still on the payroll? Why are you still making comments about this? I don't know, maybe he's just interested. Maybe he's just, I'm sure he's got a huge stack of XRP and also wants to see it rise like we do. So Chief Market Strategist Corey Johnson, who no longer works for Ripple but has an opinion anyways, says MoneyGram's recent Q2 conference call reveals how committed the payment giant is to using the digital asset XRP. He said, finally had a chance to read the MoneyGram Q2 conference call transcript, which came out a while ago now, and was truly surprised how openly committed management is to Ripple and XRP. I expected coy. What I got was a sense that they understand how blockchain will, in capitals, will, not might, change their business, and soon. MoneyGram used its conference call to reveal that Ripple-powered cross-border payment solution is now up and running. So Johnson points to the statement from MoneyGram's chief financial officer, Larry Angelilli, who says the company expects XRapid to start impacting its bottom line in the Q4 of this year, as a sign that the technology will become a core part of the business. So he says, we've been ramping XRapid starting with some pretty low levels. And we knew this, guys. It wasn't going to go full force right away. Starting slowly, moving up, okay, slowly building volume through XRapid. We know from a statement from Brianne Madigan that we did actually see an increase of 25% in XRP volume through the Mexican corridor. So keeping that in mind, he says we started with some pretty low levels. I don't foresee really much of a material impact on Q3. He says we're live, we're doing stuff. We did move money to Mexico in 1:13 seconds, but I think we're going to ramp. He says we're not going to be maxing out or stressing the system, and so it will build gradually. I think the Q4 will start to see some impact. I think due to the kind of confidentiality and the unique nature of what we're doing, and I don't think we can really describe it at this point what the P&L impact is, but I would just say that we're expecting it to influence Q4. So guys, Q4, October, November, December 2019. The CFO of MoneyGram says that there will be an impact on Q4. The CFO, he's the guy that knows about all of MoneyGram's ins and outs, their gross income, their net profit. This is the guy who would know, and he is saying that RippleNet will have an effect on Q4. More volume flowing through RippleNet, at least with MoneyGram. He's stating even that they have started out slow and that they will be ramping up. And guys, this has come to be expected. We all had a feeling that no company was just gonna pump a ton of flow through XRP all at once. They have to build slow. They have to be prudent for their customers. They're not going to ruin this amazing opportunity that they have. So they're playing it safe. And they are indeed saying that Q4, so October, November, December 2019, we will start seeing more volume through MoneyGram, which just means more demand for XRP. Anyways, that's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.